Hey folks, we are back at NG Atlanta. We are talking to Minko, one of my favorite people to have on the show. We had you on recently, actually, to talk about differs, right?
Yes, about a week ago.
Yeah, something like that. So, folks watching at home, it might not be out yet. Anyway, you were here talking about Angular performance.
Yeah, runtime performance specifically. So
Oh, cool.
there is actually some intersection between what I talked today and our podcast.
Uh-huh. So, when people talk about Angular performance, one thing that I find is that some people are like obsessed with that number, right?
Yeah.
Get it as low as you can. And then other people are sort of the type where it's, okay, this is fast enough, that's slow, fix that, right?
Yeah.
So which approach do you advocate?
I usually prefer the approach when it's good enough, like for your specific case. Well, you can definitely leave it, even if it's not like the most optimized application ever. Like if you're not looking for, if your application is not like, performance is not critical for your app, you can just leave it the way it is.
Yeah, but sometimes it really matters.
Yeah.
So when it really matters and you're seeing something that is impacting the business or whatever you're doing somehow, what approach do you take?
Well, first, a lot of benchmark to see whether... So the first thing actually is to experiment with a couple of things. On push is always a savior. Like it's a great way to optimize your applications. I'm usually using on NgRx like state management, so it works great with immutable data and with on push. You can very easily track after that what computations are happening like in your components and how you can squeeze your performance like even more, make your application even faster by using it Chrome Dev tools. You can see what functions are being invoked most frequently and how much of your scripting time basically they take. So that's quite convenient. These are the usual steps that I take. And after that, of course, I'm doing some benchmarks in order to make sure that what I did, if it makes any sense.
That makes sense. I'm going to take a break real quick and just thank Progress for sending me out here to do these videos at NG Atlanta. They make Kendo UI and NativeScript. You can go check those out. One thing that I'm curious about with the whole performance thing, you keep mentioning benchmarks. And I keep thinking, okay, but this is all kind of in the front end. Like when I've done benchmarks on the back end, it's just like, hey, run my code. Yeah. But on the front end, it doesn't seem quite so intuitive on how to do that. How do you run your benchmarks against your code?
Yes, so you can use Protractor in order to write an end-to-end test.
Okay.
And right after that, there is BenchPress. This is a library by the Angular team. So you can run your tests by using BenchPress. And this is going to provide you some great information for how much time your test took to execute, how much memory did I take, and what was even the garbage collection time for the memory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there is a great starter online. BenchPress is already in the monorepo of Angular, so you can find it there if you're interested in implementation details, for instance.
Nice. So I run BenchPress, I get some number back, right?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that for some value of time, it's fine, and then it's too slow. So how do I evaluate that? I mean, is it just by feel? Oh, well, I went to Twitter, so it took too long, right?
Yeah.
Or is it more of a, we just want everything to execute within a certain number of milliseconds?
Well, I'm just comparing two different approaches that I took in order to improve the performance of my app, and that's why, based on these benchmarks, I'm choosing one of the approaches.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, when the application feels good, feels fast enough, and the frame rate is about 60 frames per second, that's usually good enough. Like that's the best you can get anyway. So that's this is what I'm measuring with Chrome Dev tools.
Right. And can you do that with things like animations and all of the other things you wind up? Yeah,
usually CSS animations, they are GPU accelerated anyway, so you usually get good performance there. And for a very interesting thing for Angular is that you often get some performance issues when you're doing typing into two-way, an input with two-way data binding.
Right.
Yeah, this is something which is very unpleasant for the users, and this is something which can be very easily optimized with on-push exactly. So yeah, this is maybe the most common gotcha that I've got.
Gotcha. So on-push.
Yeah.
You keep saying it. I'm not completely sure what it is.
Yeah, it's a change detection strategy which is going to prevent the change detection for given component subtree from invocation unless your component gets a new input or an event inside of the component happens. Gotcha. So that's what I'm talking actually, what I talked about a few minutes ago.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I know that we have you scheduled to come back on Adventures in Angular and dig a little deeper onto this. So
Yeah.
we'll leave something for that conversation, and also encourage people to go look at the talk. I'm assuming there were examples and
Yeah.
code and, you know, all the things that we can't get when we're staring at a camera. So
Yeah, love to do that. Also share the link where, so basically I created a Git repo where each individual step from the performance optimizations that I did, it's right there into a separate branch. So you can diff the code and see what exactly has changed there.
awesome. We'll make sure that that winds up in the notes on the video.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you, Minko.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.